guys, what's up? Today I am doing a college advice video. I feel like YouTubers are always throwing out advice videos here and there, and it's like, what the hell do we know? But I am a sophomore in college, so I have a wee bit of experience, enough to share my advice-ishly opinion with you about your questions that you submitted on Twitter. Let's do this. How to adapt to the new atmosphere. Honestly, the first semester of college was really hard. It's because you go in and you want to make great friends immediately, you want to have such a great time because everyone says that college is amazing, and it is, but it takes time. Just like anything, it takes time. I went in expecting it to be so incredible, and I was so disappointed. So for the first semester, I was having a very hard time adjusting. Because I didn't feel close to the people around me, and why should I? I just met them. I didn't feel comfortable where I was living, and why should I? I was living in the same place for 17 years beforehand. So my advice for you is, in order to adjust, you need to acknowledge that there is an adjustment period, and you need to be patient. College becomes amazing once you do start feeling more comfortable with your classes, where you're living, once you make friends, which you will, because there are so many people to make friends with. What type of school supplies do you use / think are a necessity for college? It depends on what you use. If you use binders when you were in high school, or you just use notebooks, that's pretty much what you're going to need when you're at college. Unless a teacher specifies that you need something, it's the same as high school. Whatever you're used to using. For me, I bring notebooks and folders to class, but then I keep stuff in binders in my dorm, so it helps me stay organized, but I don't need to lug binders around, which is also a really great piece of advice. For a lot of campuses, you're going to be hauling your stuff to different classes, so you don't want to bring your really heavy books to class unless you need to. You don't want to bring binders around. You want to have as little as possible. Honestly, some days I just bring my laptop with me. How is it different from high school? It's not exactly advice, but let me just tell you guys that college is 570 million% different than high school. It is not the same at all. You get to make your own decisions. Teachers, my dog is barking. Silence! Teachers aren't telling you, you have to stay on top of things yourself. It's a lot of work, but it's most likely going to be topics that you're more interested in. So it kind of balances out the fact that you're doing more work because it's not as tedious and annoying as high school classes. The best thing and the worst thing about dorms. For freshman year, the best thing about dorms is that it is the best way to make friends. I made best friends with everyone on my floor, and we were all living together next year. The worst thing about dorms is that they're not luxurious at all. And it obviously depends where you go to school, but last year I literally lived in a place designed by someone who designed prisons. It was awful. You couldn't even breathe. I feel like I was always sick because the air was just so condensed and dirty. There were thousands of people living in the same building as me. My room is always disgusting, which was partially my fault. And I shared a bathroom with like 20 girls. Tips for getting along with your roommate. What I'm about to tell you is something you probably don't expect to hear. You expect most people to say, right when you meet each other, lay down the rules, you know, just tell them what you like and what you don't like, just so you're both clear, you know, and nothing's gonna be an issue. No. Honestly, you're about to live with someone, there's some things that you're gonna need to suck up. When you go into school, I would kind of actually just be a little bit laid back and say, you know what, hey, what's up? Let's not worry too much. Let's not have like written rules, and let's go along with it and see what happens. Because I feel like it's not really a great place to start a friendship when you're like, you can't do this, and you can't do this. That's how my roommate and I were. We didn't have rules. We were just kind of like went with the flow. And obviously we had problems here and there, especially like bringing people back to the dorm, friends hanging out when someone wants to study. So there's a lot of compromising. The best way to live with someone is to make sacrifices and compromise with them, because if you're giving some stuff up for them, they're going to, you know, give some stuff up for you if you want the room at a certain time or if you want to play certain music. Must have for dorms. There's a lot of must not haves for dorms. I brought everything I owned. That was really dumb. Do not bring everything. Bring everything you think you're going to use. You want to use a lot of organizational type stuff, because I got really messy with my dorm, especially because they're really small, most dorms that you're going to stay in. So the best way to organize is to go in preparing to be organized. Bring little boxes to put in your drawers, stuff like that, jewelry holders. Also, like, Speakers, I would definitely recommend. I did not have those and I wish I had them. And lights. A lot of dorms surprisingly have very, very bad lights. Not traditional, just like ceiling lights. So I would bring like these types of lights for at nighttime. The room is kind of dim, but you can still study. Or bring a lamp that you like. Would you recommend getting an apartment or staying in dorms all 4 years? People have different preferences at different colleges, but in my opinion, I think it's best to start looking for apartments your junior year. I feel like the whole point of college is to adjust you from living at home with your parents, going to high school, into the real life, you know, the real world. So for me, I feel like it would be a bit scary to go right out of college and get my first apartment. I like the idea of being in college and getting my first apartment, kind of easing my way into it. How is it being surrounded by others, and how do you deal with getting time alone? I love being surrounded by people, but obviously, like anyone else, there are times when I'm like, I need to be alone. You all need to GTFO. And you're not going to get that alone time if you have a roommate. Especially for me, my roommate stayed in our room a lot, so I didn't really have that much time alone to just hang out in the room. So do things by yourself. Go on runs. You don't need to go to the gym with your friends. Go to the gym by yourself. Go get groceries by yourself. Just make sure you do things for yourself, by yourself. Give you a little time to chill out. I feel like a lot of people go into college and they're like, I need to perpetually be surrounded by people. That's not true. You're still an independent human being. You don't need to have your friends with you at all times. Is the work in college as hard as teachers say it is? I know. In high school, I feel like teachers are always like, well, in college, like, meh. And you're like, shut up. Do you guys know what I'm saying? It's actually true. Like the work is a lot different. There's no like busy work for the most part. It's a lot of like, you pay attention in class, you have maybe one assignment every week, and then you have an exam. So you need to stay on the ball. Is that even an expression? Stay on your balls, ladies. Stay on your balls. I don't know. Were the tests like high school multiple choice ones, or were they essays? How did you prepare for them? For every class, it's different, obviously, but the tests are harder than high school, 100%. I mean, you might have a class that's easy, but no, the tests are a lot harder. It is a lot harder to do well in college. Also, I'd like to add, the school I go to, BU, is the hardest grading college, so it may be a bit more difficult for me than it will be for other schools. Are college parties as good as people say they are? Frat parties, I would describe as dirty, creepy, but fun, but really, really fun. I think your freshman year of college, you need to experience as many frat parties as you can, because it is really fun. I personally don't like the parties at BU. A lot of my friends and I will go to MIT frat parties. So a good piece of advice I'll give you, if your college is around any other colleges or universities, venture off and go to their parties. There are themes at parties, which is fun. There was one where, here, I'm just gonna come out and say it, like, you guys know people drink at college parties, where there was a luge, and you would take, I didn't do it, you would take a shot and a fish, you would swallow a goldfish. There was one called Primal, where they made their entire basement into the woods, like a forest. Halloween is 100% the most fun period of time for partying. If you are shy, how do you make friends? When you go into college, nearly no one knows each other. You need to take a step back and understand that everyone else is just as scared and just as new to things as you. Everyone is in the same boat as you. You just need to be like, hi, I'm Alex. Obviously you need to step out of your comfort zone, and that's the whole point of college. It's a new experience. You need to do things that are new and different, whether that be like something wild or even just making friends. All you have to do is say hello. Everyone is so friendly because everyone's trying to make friends. Would you ever join a sorority? Also not really advice, but for me, it's not for me. Perhaps if I was at a school where it was huge and everyone did it, then I would. Really great advice. Just go with like what everyone else is doing. But at BU, it's kind of like split half and half. Literally, half of the campus, like a direction of the campus, is sorority, frat type stuff, and then the other one is just like everyone else. Not my scene. I am quite independent, and I always feel like I have a lot going on myself, so I don't really want to be a part of something else unless it's something I really enjoy, like mock trial or acting. How to avoid getting too turned. I'm gonna actually take this question very seriously. People do drink in college. People do drugs in college. Everything is up to you. Honestly, I was never in a situation where I felt pressured to do anything. It's all up to you. You can go out and party. You don't have to drink. I know people that do that and it's fine. No one's judging you whatsoever. But if you do decide to drink and you don't have experience from high school or whatever, which you shouldn't because it's illegal, and it's still illegal in college, but I know people do it anyway, so I'm giving you this advice. Just be careful. There's this stuff called jungle juice, and it's just a mixture of a bunch of different alcohol and drinks, and that is a little dangerous at times, so make sure if you're gonna drink something like that, you are with friends. You want to go to party with friends that will take care of you. You don't want to drink too much. You don't want to be hungover because you probably have to do homework the next morning. I would just say take it slow, take it easy, and make sure you are with friends wherever you go that are looking out for you, especially if you feel like you did drink too much or you drank something kind of sketchy, that you're with friends. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more college videos like my dorm haul, my dorm tour, stuff like that, give this video a big thumbs up so that, actually not like a big thumbs up, just give it a thumbs up. Like, why do I have to say big? I just sound like an asshole. Give this video a thumbs up so I know. Give it a big thumbs up and we'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.